The desert night on Zeta 9 was colder than any winter Lucas Gray had ever known on Earth. Heat fled the moment the sun dipped behind the jagged basalt cliffs, and the 3 moons cast a pale, sickly glow across the abandoned mining outpost. Wind whispered through rusted machinery like ghosts gossiping in the dark. Lucas tightened the seals on his suit and checked the energy net trap one last time. The shimmering lattice floated above the rocky ground like an invisible spiderweb, primed to collapse and harden around anything that passed through it. He stepped back, heart hammering. This was it. The alien raiders had been stalking the outpost for days. Silent, fast, and impossibly clever. They had already taken several pieces of equipment from the human settlement nearby, and command suspected reconnaissance for a larger attack. Lucas volunteered to capture one alive, not because he was the bravest soldier. He wasn't, but because he wanted answers. And because his father, the commander of the Zeta 9 colony, expected him to take responsibility for once in his life. Lucas crouched behind a collapsed or hauler, waiting. His breath fogged inside his visor. Minutes stretched into an hour, then 2. At some point, exhaustion began to push at the back of his mind, and he rubbed his eyes hard to stay alert. Then he heard it. Soft footfalls, light, almost floating, approaching the trap. Lucas held his breath. A silhouette appeared between the rocks, delicate and slender. It paused, sniffing the air like a curious animal, then moved forward cautiously. He expected scales or claws, something monstrous, something befitting the horror stories whispered by miners. But when the figure stepped into the moonlight, Lucas's eyes widened. It wasn't a monstrous alien at all. It was a girl. She looked about his age, maybe 19, with pale lavender skin that shimmered faintly and long tendrils of silvery hair that swayed like threads in water. Her eyes were enormous, luminescent, and violet. She wore patchwork armor clearly scavenged from wreckage and ruins. Her thin fingers brushed the rocks gently, as if she were listening to them. She stepped forward right into the energy net. The trap snapped shut in an instant, collapsing and hardening around her like glowing amber. She let out a gasp, stumbling as the lattice constricted around her limbs. Her eyes darted wildly, fear rising like a tidal wave. Lucas stood up quickly, unsure whether to approach slowly or rush in. She saw him, and immediately pressed herself against the hardening net, trembling. "Please," she cried out, her voice musical and desperate. "Please don't kill me." Lucas froze. Not just because she spoke, but because she spoke English. Broken, accented, but unmistakably English. I'm not going to kill you," he stammered, stepping closer with both palms raised. "You're trespassing on a human outpost. You've been stealing our equipment." "I took nothing," the alien girl insisted, shaking her head violently. "I was only looking for food, for shelter. My people are dying." Lucas hesitated. His orders were clear. Capture the intruder, bring them in, no negotiation. But staring at her, terrified, trapped, a living, breathing person, he felt something twist inside him. "Who are you?" he asked. She swallowed hard. "My name is Syrah. I am Velerin." Her voice cracked. "My colony was destroyed by the storms. We hide in caves now. Food is gone. Water is gone. I only came here because your people throw away more than we have." Lucas blinked. "You're scavenging." "Yes." Syrah's voice broke. Please don't take me to your scientists. They will cut me open. I know what humans do." "That's not, well, not always," Lucas fumbled. "Look, I just need information. Then maybe I can help." She squeezed her eyes shut, bracing for pain. Lucas felt his chest tighten. He stepped closer and knelt beside her. Sira, I'm not like that. My father might be, but I'm not. Her eyes opened slowly. She stared at him as if unsure whether to believe him. Your trap, she whispered. Will it kill me? No. It just restrains. He reached toward the control pad on his wrist. If I release you, will you run? She hesitated. Then, with visible effort, she shook her head. I will not run. Lucas deactivated the net. The glowing lattice softened instantly, dissolving into tiny particles that evaporated into the air. Sira collapsed forward, catching herself on trembling arms. Lucas reached out, but she flinched. Sorry, he said quickly, pulling back. I didn't mean to. It is all right, she whispered, though her voice shook. I am just scared. For a moment neither spoke. The desert wind carried fine dust between them. Lucas sat down cross-legged. Tell me about your people. Sira lowered herself cautiously but remained facing him, as if ready to flee at any moment. The Velarin lived here long before humans came, she began softly. Our cities were carved into the cliffs, our crops grown in the hydrothermal valleys. But the planet is sick now. The storms grow stronger every year. The soil has turned to poison. Thousands died in the last cycle. Those of us who remain fight just to see dawn. Lucas listened, stunned. He had known the planet was unstable, but no one in the human colony ever mentioned ancient inhabitants, or their suffering. Why didn't you ask us for help? He asked. Sira gave him a hollow look. Would you have listened? Humans arrive in metal ships, plant flags, take resources, and push aside all who were there first. Lucas grimaced. She wasn't entirely wrong. Look, he said quietly. I can talk to my father. The colony has extra rations. We could share. Maybe more than that. Sira's expression twisted with disbelief and hope warring across her face. You would do that? Even after catching me? Even after I trespassed? Yes. Lucas nodded firmly. Because you're not a threat. You're just trying to survive. A sudden boom shook the ground. Dust exploded upward as a search drone descended overhead, its spotlight blasting the dunes with white light. Lucas's stomach plummeted. No, 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 no. They must have tracked my trap activation. Sira leapt to her feet, backing away. They will kill me. No, they won't. I'll talk to them. Lucas raised his hands toward the drone. Scan complete, Unit L47, a metallic voice announced. Non-human life form detected. Dispatching containment team. Sira's face drained of color. She spun to run. Sira, wait. Lucas dashed after her. They'll fire if you run. But she was already scrambling over the rocks, desperate. The drone's targeting lasers flicked on. Lucas made a split-second decision, one that would get him court-martialed if he survived the night. He lunged forward, grabbing Sira and pulling her behind a boulder just as the drone fired a stun blast. The beam scorched the stone inches from where she'd been. Sira gasped, staring at Lucas in shock. You protected me, she whispered. He breathed hard. I told you. I'm not going to let them hurt you. Multiple drones swarmed overhead now. Boots pounded on the sand in the distance. Soldiers approaching fast. Lucas looked at Sira, then at the pincered canyon behind them. We need to move now. She nodded, trusting him with a sudden intensity that terrified him even more than the drones. They ran, through narrow fissures, over jagged ledges, beneath arches of ancient stone. Lucas's mind raced. If he could just get far enough from the outpost, he might be able to. A blast struck the rock above them. Shards exploded downward. Lucas shielded Syrah, taking most of the impact on his armored back. They stumbled into a cavern lit by glowing algae. The drones couldn't navigate small spaces. They had a moment's reprieve. Syrah placed a trembling hand on Lucas's arm. "You saved me twice now." He managed a weak grin. "Guess that makes us even." "No," she whispered. "I owe you a life debt. My people honor such things. I will help you as you helped me." Lucas sank against the cavern wall, breathing hard. "First thing I need help with is convincing my father not to start a war." Syrah's luminous eyes softened. "Then let us go to him. Together. You risked everything to save me. I will trust you with this." By dawn, the two of them stood outside the human colony's main gate. Soldiers surrounded them instantly, rifles raised. Lucas held his hands up, standing protectively in front of Syrah. "Stand down." Commander Gray barked as he marched forward. His hard expression flickered when he saw the alien girl. "Lucas, what have you done?" "Father," Lucas said, steadying his voice. "You need to listen. The Velarin are starving. Their world is dying." She wasn't stealing weapons. She was searching for scraps. Commander Gray's jaw tightened. "This planet is dangerous. We can't risk." "We already risk everything." Lucas shot back. "We're building on a world we barely understand. And the people who were here first are falling apart while we pretend they don't exist. We can help them. We have to." The commander looked from his son to Syrah, who trembled but held Lucas's hand tightly. Slowly, reluctantly, the commander lowered his weapon. "Bring her inside," he said gruffly. "But under my supervision." Syrah looked at Lucas, hope shining through her fear. "Thank you," she whispered. Lucas squeezed her hand gently. "You trusted me. Now it's my turn to trust you." In the days that followed, an uneasy alliance formed. Supplies were shared. Shelter was offered. And for the first time in decades, humans and Velarins sat at the same table. Syrah became a bridge between their worlds. Lucas became someone his father could finally be proud of. And the trap he set, the one meant to capture an enemy, had instead caught a friend who would change the destiny of two species. A girl who had pleaded for her life, and found a future instead.